We have been blessed this October for Path of Titans content. Nesting, Critters, Iguanodon, Dinon, Pycno TLCs, and now the Latin Venatrix TLC. They've all been released, and the developers have been absolutely on fire lately with these updates. And so that leaves the question, what's next? But now I'm predicting what's in the next update, and let's see if I'm going to be any closer to how we were before. Because we've gotten a lot of TLCs lately, and yesterday's Latin Venatrix TLC, which you want to check out the full rework, here it is. We have so many new TLCs that could come to the game, and well, we have one actually. I'm not going to lie, we have one. And also, Pycno's apparently getting some more stat reworks, which are outlined here, and they said that will come in the next major update, so, I mean, that's something we've got 100% spot on. But, TLCs. I've picked 3 here. One of them we know for definite, and the other 2 are predictions. They're wildcards, so let's see if any of them match up. Barsboldia, I think, will be the cornerstone rework coming to the game. One of the main content updates in the next major update for Path of Titans. This, we know, is the only confirmed remodel coming to the game at the moment. This was announced at the start of the year and has been on like a backlog until now. And it still arguably is on a backlog because, well, we haven't heard anything about it. Aside from this comment right here in reply to someone asking about it on the Latin TLC video. We know, based on this comment as well, that it's currently being held up because it's awaiting improvements to be made to the area of effect attacks in the game, and that was mentioned in this comment recently and in the summer dev blog earlier this year, so it does reiterate the fact that it's still maybe a problem and that they're still working on it. So Barsboldia is likely going to get a remodel because it's the oldest model in the game. It's going to get reworked animations likely too, better textures and new area of effect based attacks by the looks of it as well. But what else and what other dinosaurs could join it? If we think that Barsboldia is 100% coming in the next update, will we get some around or in the update as well? Well, I definitely think we will. The surprise of Miragaia and the Kentrosaurus TLC being literally back to back made us all wonder, what about Stegosaurus? Because now that, alongside Barsboldia, is one of the oldest models in the game, and for a Stegosaur is the oldest model in the game, and equally it's the most rough looking out of all the Stegosaurs. I mean, look at the plates for this dinosaur, look at the way they connect, look at the model, it's just, it definitely could be better. If they could somehow have made the Kentrosaurus TLC better, then Stegosaurus has a lot of improvements that could be made for it, mainly joining those plates to the body and smoothing those rough textures. To me, the fact that all other Stegosaurs in the game now are up to date this year, and Stego is the only one that isn't, I think that Stegosaurus is going to be one of the bigger TLCs to come, hopefully in the next update before the end of the year. Then that means all the Stegosaurs in the game are up to date with one another. But there is one more, and this one is the most wild card of them all, because this one is Allosaurus. Allosaurus, once again, like all of these dinosaurs, is old. It was released in 2021 alongside Growth, which I can't believe that Growth is now 3 years old. How crazy is that? Who was here when Growth first released into Path of Titans? I know I was, but were you? Let me know in the comments. It hasn't been updated since either, and the other thing is, its kit has barely been updated. Aside from the abilities like Fresh Blood and some other ones like Hatchet Bite, we haven't really got any massive new abilities for the dinosaur. So its kit is a lot smaller compared to its rivals, Pycnomosaurus and Daspletosaurus, namely more commonly so Pycno, because that's been updated with a TLC recently. And of course, with the recent Pycno TLC, I can see Allosaurus getting refined further, getting more love to be on par with other free-slot carnivores. The other thing that I think this is going to get is the main cornerstone in this update would be some form of grapple ability. We know that Allosaurus is going to get a grapple-based attack, which allows it to kind of, grab its opponents and force them to submit, but we don't know how it's going to work. And I do feel like that could be the main thing that comes with Allosaurus in a TLC. And that will usher in a brand new ability style, which is like grappling. Instead of grabbing with your mouth, you'll be grabbing with your arms. And that is going to be very different to what all the other official dinosaurs have. And I do think that will separate Allo from all of them. And also, I mean, Allo is been in desperate need, and it's probably the most requested TLC out of all of the dinosaurs in the game. Gamemodes were promised to release this year, and of course, we're nearly at the end of the year now. Testing has been on and off as well this year, mostly in the earlier part of this year, and then suddenly they came back for a little bit in like August, September time, and then they kind of came back 2 weeks ago. There was testing for an hour for Capture the Egg, and then it was taken down because of bugs on PlayStation. I do think Gamemodes will release anyways before the end of the year. Now, there is one caveat here that could be holding it up, and that is I do think that Gamemodes are going to release all together as one big package, and that leaves a problem. There's one more game mode that hasn't been tested or even mentioned yet, and that's the infected game mode. Now, it's not technically called infected. I'm pretty sure it's called like herbivores versus carnivores or something like that. But essentially how it works is you start off as herbivores and there's some carnivores. And when you die to a carnivore, you join the carnivores until there's one or none herbies left. Last herbivore standing. I'm pretty sure that is the game mode name. We haven't heard anything about that. And that's the final game mode. That's game mode 4. Team Deathmatch, King of the Hill, Capture the Egg, Last Herbivore Standing. And I think the devs are going to release them all together if they were to release them. But if they don't, then of course Gamemodes I think will release in the next major update. Otherwise the devs have missed the mark 2 years in a row with Gamemodes. And I don't think they really want to do that because, you know, last year they mentioned they want to release Gamemodes in some form. And then this year they also said that. So in my eyes, I do think the developers will release Gamemodes this year. Now, I thought this was meant to release next year as a gradual plan, but I also said this would happen before nesting. I do think this could be like started to gradually roll out in the next update. Now, not the whole thing, because there's a lot that the developers want to do with the Quest TLC. They want to do AI that help you do quest givers, that's it, and stuff like that. But I don't think that's going to start being rolled out yet. I think that's a next year plan, and we'll probably get to know more about that in the end of year dev blog. However, I do think what's going to start being rolled out this year is the metric and achievement system, because that is doable. And it's also doable, and more so doable, now that we have all these critters. Metrics throw in, of course, the achievement system, and the achievement system is a way to track your progress and gain achievements for completing goals. For example, there was like multiple different ones to kill a certain amount of things or collect a certain amount of things, die a certain amount of times. That like tracks your stats. Like it says how many times you've died, how many times you've died to fall damage, how many things you've killed, and vice versa. And then for the achievements, how many acorns, you know, or how many you've picked up. And then when you complete the achievement, you get rewards. The developers said that's going to be home cave items, skins, and maybe some other stuff as well. So there is a lot of potential here when it comes to this system. And I do think we're not going to get the whole Quest TLC yet, because they want to overhaul the quest system in a way where it just makes the world more immersive and the questing system more open-ended, and that's a big feat to do. I technically think that that's going to happen next year, and it's going to be like the main thing for next year. We've been told that 2 years in a row, but I do think next year's the year. Now that we've got nesting, it's time that they can do it. So I think that could be the case there. The Quest TLC slowly getting rolled out, the gradual process with maybe metrics and achievements gets released this year, and then next year is the main focus for that update. I'm either going to set myself up for a howler here, or I'm correct and I'm hurting everybody's dreams. I don't think Microraptor will come in the next major update. Microraptor is the last creature to release in the latest Dinosaur pack. And technically speaking, it would mean the whole pack released in 1 year. And that means we're set up next for Tylosaurus, Leadictes, the Mystery Dinosaur, and something else probably. But I don't think Microraptor will come in the next major update. Do you want to know why? It's because it's waiting on one thing. Firstly, Microraptor's going to introduce gliding and a new mechanic, tree climbing. And that's what I think is holding back this playable. Tree climbing kind of requires, and I saw someone else resonate with this same idea, but tree climbing requires the rework to the foliage system, or so I believe, because the foliage, if you look on Pandora and compare it to Gondor, Pandora's foliage system is actually equipped for Microraptor. You've got big round trees, like the redwood trees, with big logs. or stumps and all that. You know what I mean. The ones on Gondwar are very thin, aside from in certain biomes. But if you look at like birchwoods and other biomes, a Microraptor's not going to be able to climb those trees. Hitbox wise, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. And I do think once they rework the foliage and maybe rework it in a way where it allows Microraptor to climb it better, then we will hopefully see Microraptor come to the game. Or they're just going to go with the foliage that we have at the moment. It'll look a little bit jank for now, and then they'll overhaul the foliage and then it'll be fine. That could be the case there. But I personally just don't think Microraptor will release if the foliage update hasn't happened yet. Because I think that tree climbing mechanic is such a big feature for the dinosaur. I think that the foliage rework is important for the release of Microraptor. Otherwise, it will just look janky, and I don't think the devs want that to happen. I want to know your thoughts on that one. I know loads of people want Microraptor to release next and think it's going to be in the next major update. I'm 50-50. I originally wrote it as coming in the next update, and then I kind of thought about that tree climbing mechanic, and then I saw the comment about it as well, and I kind of agreed with it, you know? But yeah, let me know your thoughts about this stuff in the comments down below. What are you most excited for, and what do you think will be the next major update for the game? I'm not talking one-off like the Latin TLC. I'm talking major, big update. Let me know your thoughts and predictions in the comments, and when do you think it will release? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.